Hello everyone and welcome back to Pokemon Black. We have a route to discover as well as a giant tower to climb, so let's get to it.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was wondering why you went off the bike, and then I remembered that they have these balance board gimmicks in this area.
You can take the bike on the balance board, I think. It's just that
No, you can't.
Can you not? I thought for sure you could.
Yeah, I think you're thinking of Gen 3.
Yeah, because in
Gen 3?
In Gen 3, there's the acro bike, which lets you do little shortcuts,
Right.
which is like...
Oh, okay, yeah, that is what I'm thinking about.
And then there's the mock bike, which actually goes as fast as you want the bike to go. Because
The acro like shit.
The acro bike, if I remember correctly, is like only a tiny bit faster than running. And then the mock bike goes really, really fast, but you can't... like John said, it controls like shit. There's like actually a brake button you need to press when you need to brake. Like... and getting Rayquaza is a pain in the ass too, because it's like I don't really want like manual reflex testing in my Pokemon game. You know, it's not really what I'm playing this game for. You know, like if I wanted to play Tony Hawk, I'd play Tony Hawk. I think the annoying thing, actually, now that I'm thinking about the Gen 3 bikes, is more just that you had to switch them all the time. Like, because you'd have one bike, okay.
Yeah.
And then, you find this path that can only go up with the mock bike, or you can only do the acro bike. So then you need to fly back to the one city, switch your bike, and then go back. And then oftentimes both types of bikes would be needed either on the same route or on, like, alternating routes. So it was just, like, busy work, like... I'd rather,
Did the 3DS version do anything to mitigate that?
I never got that far in the 3DS version.
Oh, I've still not played the 3DS remix.
It's been so long I can't remember.
I hear very mixed things about the 3DS remakes. Like, I know that people hated the changes to the Battle Tower. Battle Frontier, excuse me. Like, they despised what they did with that. It's been so long, though, I don't know what, like, the overarching theme of the like overarching opinion is on how well they did them. I know that they like added in like the you can ride on Latios. You can do that. There's like a Deoxys thing.
I have a question. When people do rotation battles, do these sort of turntable things just sprout out of the grass or what?
Shut up, Lewis.
I'm just like, what are we rotating on right now?
A turntable.
Where's the turntable?
And DJ, spin that shit.
It's much more game logic-y because like when you're using your imagination as a kid, Pokemon battles like, oh, I use one move and then I use another move. It's more like representative of, you know, a more like fleshed out fight you'd see like in the anime or whatever.
I'm pretty sure, like in an actual Pokemon battle, the turntables are not there, and the Pokemon are just playing musical chairs or some other shit. But I also like to think if the turntables are also not there, the Pokemon are just kind of spinning in place, like they're not even moving; they're just sliding into the final position.
It's like, you know, this is the kind of thing that I could see being an actual in-world mechanic in the modern games, because the modern games have all these like in-universe Pokemon arenas that you can fight on, you know, and you could imagine like there being a gym arena or maybe an arena off to the side in town that has turntables attached to it, so you could do rotation battles that way. But here it's just like we're in a field, man. It's a good thing there's a turntable plant right there. It's just like, you know, it's a turntable mushroom in this mushroom forest.
You know, they'd come up with this like in-game lore for it, but at the end of the day, it would just be the fourth iteration on Mega Evolutions that they've done instead. So,
wonderful.
You know.
Yeah, I wish they'd stop doing that.
Same. I also wish that they would come up with a real gameplay change to Pokemon that's not just the 16th iteration on Mega Evolutions, but, you know.
It's like, you know, I realize that they need a new gimmick to sell to the Kittywinks in the same way that Atlas games need a new waifu every time they re-release a game. But, you know, we can lay off the super transformations. It's getting a bit DBZ ridiculous.
The Legends games, at the very least, have done more experimenting in interesting ways. Like I liked the fast quick, the fast slow battle style in Legends Arceus.
Yeah.
And from what we've seen of ZA, it's more like Xenoblade-y, where like you're still choosing moves off of a menu, but there's like cooldowns for Pokemon instead of like it being a real turn-based, which would also be really cool. I feel like that would really buff speed type Pokemon though, if speed messed with a cooldown as opposed to like just a turn order, that makes it much stronger. But we'll see. I'm still somewhat torn on that game, but we'll see more when it actually comes out.
The way you landed in the grass and just stood there for a few seconds before opening the menu, I was just like, I could envision you going,
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much my mentality whenever I fall off these things. It's just controls. Why?
It's like one of those things, it shouldn't be that hard, because it's just moving. Like, your movement isn't changed when you're on them in any meaningful way. But it's just like, why'd I do that?
man.
I don't know who you're giving this TM to.
Like, I love these moments when we're just looking at grids.
You know, because of the way it's all grid based, though, I imagine there's a slight bit of Pac-Man syndrome in there, where sometimes you'll be holding forward and then you'll push left, but oh no, your character's already walked a pixel into the next space, so you won't actually turn until you reach that next space. And
every time the screen just shifts over to the grid lines, though, I'm always looking at the intersection to see if I can see gray dots, and the answer is yes.
Oh wait, is that optical?
It's an optical illusion.
I can't talk. Why can't I talk?
It's an octagon illusion.
Octagon illusion? No, they're squares, John.
I do like the balance beams as a use of the 3D though, because you can travel on the lower plane and just deal with random Pokemon battles, or you can travel on the upper plane and have a bunch of trainers challenge you. It's the same kind of design idea that the route to the east of the main town in Scarlet and Violet uses, except instead of balance beams, it's just a cave system underneath. You know, you can dodge all the trainers or by going through the caves underneath, or you can fight all the trainers by going through the route above. Except at some point after they designed that area, I presume, they decided to make all the trainer battles optional anyway, so it's just kind of like,
that
why?
reminds me of a section in Bravely Default, where it's like the same idea. Oh, the shortest path to our next objective has a robot mini boss in the way, or you can walk around this big long path to get around him, but you'd have to fight random encounters. However, by the time the game came out in the West, we got the special edition, which gives you the ability to turn random encounters off. So it's just like...
There's just no reason not to ever take that other path.
No, I fought the robot because I wanted to see the content. You know? It's just like, oh, I won't fight this thing if I don't do that.
I like how...
Also experience points.
That does kind of remind me of like something that does a similar thing in reverse, though. The Chocobo Eater in Final Fantasy X. If you manage to beat that boss, you get a free Chocobo and can just ride on your merry way down the rest of the high road. If the Chocobo Eater beats you and knocks you off the cliff, you're down on the low road. So you need to walk. Fight random battles until you reach the end of the high road the hard way. Of course, everyone just beats the Chocobo Eater and then walks backward down the low road anyway for treasure.
Yes, yeah, because there's treasure coffers you can only get with the Chocobo.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know what they were thinking.
So if you lose that, is it a fight or is it like a mini game or something?
It's a boss. It's just that the boss knocks your party back a row when it hits you, and every time you do a certain amount of damage, you knock the Chocobo Eater back. So while you're fighting it normally, you're also pushing each other backward and forward to make room so that you don't get knocked off the cliff.
That's interesting, because I would have just assumed that if I died to the boss, I'd just have to restart the game.
Well, you can die to the boss too, but it can knock you off the cliff without killing you.
Okay.
If you manage the battlefield poorly, you know.
And I think like until you defeat it, you have to. I think you have to encounter it every time you try to take the high road. Or some of the shit. It's been a long time because I never lost that battle.
I don't know if you ever encounter the Chocobo Eater again. It might have a doppelganger in the arena.
2 Chocobo Eaters?
Well, I mean, like half the arena bosses are just other bosses you've already fought, aren't they? Or other monsters in souped up forms.
Actually, yeah, because the Chocobo Eater duplicate in the arena. Actually, what was it called? Hold on, I'm gonna look that up.
That's a common complaint with Final Fantasy X, though, right? Is that it lacks enemy variety?
Enemy variety is pretty bad.
Yeah. It's unfortunate because the combat system they cooked up for it is fantastic. So fantastic that Lord of the Rings The Third Age ripped it off.
That's still really weird to me, because, like... I think of Final Fantasy and Lord of the Rings on two, like, different sides of a coin. You know, so seeing them mix is bizarre in my mind.
The Lord of the Rings had a really long experimental age where they just could not, for the life of them, make a good video game out of the property. Unless it was a movie tie-in that was just a basic beat-em-up. So, the Third Age was one of the awkward experiments. And they decided Final Fantasy X, with less to do, was a good direction to go. And basically, what the Lord of the Rings: The Third Age is what everyone who hasn't played Final Fantasy X thinks Final Fantasy X is when they use Final Fantasy X to design Final Fantasy XIII, to defend Final Fantasy XIII, rather. It's just a hallway with a bunch of random battles, and you're playing as not Boromir, who's saved from certain death by not Arwen. Somewhere along the way you pick up not Aragorn, and I'm pretty sure there's a not Legolas in there somewhere, and a not Gimli. And you're basically the not Fellowship, following in the footsteps of the Fellowship. Occasionally, a member of the Fellowship will star as a guest party member during a particular boss fight. But that mostly just serves to remind you that the Fellowship is cooler.
Yo, I love when video games remind you that your team sucks and the other team's way cooler than you are.
Reminds me of Fire Emblem Radiant Dawn a bit, where everyone's just like, Ike and his brigade are so much better than the Dawn Brigade. It's like, it's true though.
The upshot though is that you're basically following in the footsteps of the Fellowship during their journeys, and effectively cleaning up after them. You get to fight the Watcher in the water. You get to fight Sauron's Eye for some reason. It's yeah. And there's actually a plot going on with the characters, but it doesn't matter. It's nonsense.
The arena creation was the Earth Eater.
Yeah, that's
so.
That's
Wait, this guy was called the Chocobo Eater. Is like eating chocobos a thing that happens in the universe?
Yeah.
It's called the Chocobo Eater because you fight it outside one of Rin's travel agencies where he's threatening the chocobos. In fact, when you first see him, he's got a chocobo in his hand by its neck. It's kind of brutal. Don't worry, you save that chocobo. It's all right.
Yeah, you save that chocobo.
But like,
it's just weird to think because they're too marketable to be eaten. You know.
So are Pokemon. People eat Pokemon.
Yeah.
Do they though?
Yeah, they do.
People eat Magikarp.
In the anime, not in the games.
It doesn't matter if the medium.
No, I'm pretty sure.
People eat Pokemon.
I'm pretty sure there is mention of people eating Pokemon in the game somewhere. I just don't.
It's
remember
weird
specifically where.
then. It's weird to imagine them eating Pokemon.
I mean, it is weird. We do our best not to humanize the animals we eat until someone decides to be clever and makes a movie about the farm animals, and it's like that farmer just ate a duck because its rooster crowing was annoying. Okay. It was crowing like a rooster to avoid being eaten, but it got eaten anyway. That's sad.
Oh man, that's like dramatic irony, I think. No, wait, no. Dramatic irony is when the audience knows something that a character doesn't. Okay, I remember this. This is like one of those worms that leeches into your into your head, because my English class in high school mentioned this. It's dramatic irony that Romeo kills himself in Romeo and Juliet, because at that point the audience knows Juliet is still alive. There we go.
Well, in that case, it is dramatic irony in the duck's case, because the humans don't know the animals can talk to each other. What was that movie? Babe? It was about the pig, right?
Yeah, Babe's about the pig. That's right.
When you're referring to a movie about a pig, you're either referring to Babe or Charlotte's Web.
Yeah, it's not Charlotte's Web. But yeah, I always found it funny that movies about farm animals became so popular. Even though,
I mean, it's just because they're popular with kids. Like, kids love animals. My nephew loves animals, you know, and farm animals are just ones that they're likely to see in person. Like, there's, especially when you go back 150 years when people living on farms or in the proximity to farms was more common. So those are the animals that they would see more often.
It's just, it's not that people can't empathize with animals and also eat animals. It's just that a lot of people can't empathize with animals and also eat animals. So they experience a blue screen of death in their brain when they attempt to do both at the same time. And basically they need an OS upgrade.
No, I don't want to upgrade to Windows 11. I don't. Microsoft, stop telling me to upgrade to Windows 11. I'm not doing it.
It's not as bad as people say. It's just that a lot of people upgraded to Windows 11 without checking if their computer could run it well first. And, yeah.
Listen, I just hate updating OS. I
Do what? Your OS is updating.
Oh, no. Do what evolved into Windows 11.
Woo.
Fully evolved starter.
Samurot's cool. I like Samurot.
Ryan, no, they're their first partner Pokemon now.
This is like a samurai dog for a samurai dog lover. What? Wait, this is another graveyard tower.
Yeah,
Yes,
this is what I kind of mentioned, is that the dungeons in this game are very simple. Victory Road is awesome in this game, but that's really like the only dungeon that stands out from my memory.
Why do we have psychics in the graveyard tower, though?
Just for more variety,
because having channelers would be too much like Generation 1.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it was channelers, I would be like, why are there Shinto practitioners in America?
Like, one thing this game definitely has over Gen 1 is that you're not only fighting Ghastlies for 15 minutes. You know, there is some variety in this
I mean,
tower.
which granted, I mean, there were only so many ghost-type Pokemon in Gen 1.
Yeah, and by so
There was
many,
only
that
one
means
line.
3.
Yeah, Ghastly, Ghastly 2, and Ghastly 3.
Yo, I love Ghastly 3. Ghastly 3 is definitely the best in the trilogy.
I was privy to more Ghastly 2 myself.
Ghastly 2 has better visuals, I will say, but Ghastly 3 is the higher statted Pokemon, so that's the one you have to use for competitive.
You know, the best thing about Ghastly 2 is that you have to trade it to evolve it, which means it will never evolve if you don't want it to.
Well, I mean, you can just give an Everstone or just press B, so nothing else ever has to evolve.
I was going to ask, like, could you cancel a trade evolution?
Yes.
Yeah, you could.
Okay, so you can just hit the B button and just, like, bam. No, I actually don't want Ghastly 3.
I'm pretty sure that if you, like... what I don't know is, like, you can give a Firestone to, like, Eevee, for example, and then press B
And then
to
hit
cancel
B.
the evolution.
I like the idea of we're not actually calling them by their evolution names. It's just a sequel to the original Pokemon. So it's not Raichu, it's Pikachu.
But, you know,
Pikachu.
it works better with the Ghastly line, because the Ghastly line follows the traditional flow of all movie sequels. The first one is cool, the second one is a masterpiece, and the third one sucks.
Is that the case for all of them? Like, I know Halloween 2... Do people like Halloween 2 as much as the first one?
No.
No? Okay.
Halloween 2 is not a bad movie, per se.
It's definitely not the case for all of them. I know Die Hard 2 is just kind of a weak sauce copy of Die Hard 1 in an airport. And Die Hard 3 is the one that actually does some interesting things. But it's definitely the case for the Terminator and Alien.
Alien, especially. I think Alien is probably the better example in that case.
It's the sequel flow of James Cameron movies.
What was the problem with Alien 3? Or Alien
It shits on
2?
aliens.
It shits on aliens? How?
Yeah.
Basically, everyone
Just
dies.
it completely overrides it completely overrides the happy ending of Aliens. And I hate it. Like, I don't like it.
They crash land, everyone dies, Ripley gets imprisoned, and it's basically just it's just like, these characters had a happy ending? That's not allowed. One more day, motherfuckers.
Yeah, it's I don't look. It has its fans. And like it individually itself, it's a fine movie. I just find it was made in a very mean spirited place.
Why
Also,
would
the
they
ending
do
was
that, though?
basically Terminator 2. They just ripped off Terminator 2.
T3 has the same problem.
Yeah,
It's not as mean about it, but it's a similar reason why I do not like Rise of the Machines, because T2 was the perfect fucking sequel. It's one of my favorite sci-fi movies of all time.
well, I mean, T2 ended. The only reason T2 ended in any sort of ambiguous sense is because they decided they didn't like the definitive ending that they had already filmed and set up. So, but like the takeaway from it was supposed to be they did stop Judgment Day, right? It's the end of the Terminator story. But they wanted to
There is no fate but what you make it. And then T3 is like,
Judgment Day is inevitable.
Actually, we just delayed it a little bit. And over here in Dark Fate, it's just like, nah, actually they sent a bunch of random Terminators in the past, and one of them killed John Connor. So we need a new John Connor. So we're gonna
I'm so conflicted on Dark Fate. I know we're getting close to the end of this part already, but
I should, like, watch Terminator at some point so I can know what the hell you guys are talking about.
have you never watched any of them?
I watched Terminator 1 as a commentary with you guys.
Yeah,
like
that
10
was
year ago or whatever.
Years and years ago. We never got.
Oh, we never got to T2?
We never did
No,
T2.
we didn't, but we should.
I would need to watch
What the
T1 again, because
what
I
the
barely
fuck?
remember. I do remember that the Terminator 1, like the cinematography in T1 was really cool. Like, there are a lot of very striking scenes in that movie that I remember still vividly, even though I've only watched it once and it was a long time ago.
Terminator 1 was an extremely artsy, low-budget movie. Terminator 2 was the most expensive movie of its time, and they both used their respective budgets masterfully.
Yes.
We'll reach the top of the tower in the next part of Pokemon Black. See you guys all then. Later.